Okay. I'm calling the Executive Committee meeting Monday, November 1st, 2021 at 10:30 to order. Please call the roll.
City of Chicago,
Aaron's here. I see him.
Here. Good morning.
morning. Village of Niles,
Here.
Village of Schaumburg,
Here.
Village of Bensonville,
Present.
River Grove,
Here.
Melrose Park, Norwich,
Here.
School District 234. Dr. Kelso. I'm sorry. She was here. Thought she was here. Okay, and School District 86.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve the September 27, 2021 ONCC Executive Committee meeting minutes?
I'll move so.
And I'll second it. Any comments, any corrections or changes?
No.
If not, we call the roll to approve.
City of Chicago,
Yes.
Village of Niles,
Yes.
Village of Schaumburg,
Yes.
Village of Bensonville,
Yes.
Village of River Grove,
Yes.
Village of Norwich,
Yes.
School District 86.
Yes.
Just making sure no one else joined in since we, okay. Motion passes.
All right, good. Number 4, report from the Chicago Department of Aviation.
Good morning, everyone. Happy
Aaron.
Monday. Couple
Ryan.
things for you. I wanted to let you know that runway 9 right 27 left reopens in about 4 weeks. We will be preparing a couple of outreach materials for you, specifically an FAQs document. We may have that ready as early as this Friday. I will check on that and keep more posted. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this is the last ONCC meeting of the year with the full commission. So we just wanted to remind everybody that the reopening is scheduled for Thursday, December 2nd on the pilot charting cycle. And that we are happy to brief any of the members that is requesting outreach. We have already briefed Park Ridge and Niles. I believe we have, maybe not this week, but next, an outreach event in Rosemont. And we always have that standing offer. We're available to do outreach if you'd like. I will tell you, it's a little confusing right now because we've got sort of the current condition, the condition between December 2nd and next summer, and then what I'll call the build out condition, meaning the pavement's done and the navigational aids are done. So just know that if you're, looking for outreach, all of us are, myself, Ryan, and the L&B team, Maura, Vildana, all of us are available to help. So just let us know. So we will make mention of that again at the Friday meeting.
Hey,
Maura?
Aaron, sorry.
Yes.
Joe, can I ask a question? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Aaron, so I'm going to be giving a presentation to my transportation committee in December, primarily focused on Fly Quiet. And I don't need staff, but do you all have materials you could share that I could pull from just so that I'm consistent with your messaging?
Absolutely. So you mean, Karen, material on air traffic flow or material on Fly Quiet?
No, I'm good on Fly Quiet, just on kind of any, like with whatever road show you're doing now, anything that would be pertinent that I could include. That way I could just make sure, I don't have to sort of recreate the wheel, right? I can just steal your material.
So Karen, I would say off the top of my head, there will be 2 or 3 things that you may find helpful. Number 1, we'll update the main sort of standard noise exhibit with all the runways, and none of the runways will be pink anymore because they're all built, right? We've done pink runways for over 10 years. So we'll do that ready for December 2nd. We'll also have the FAQs document. I think there are somewhere between, I don't know, 12 and 14 Q&A that we've done. We did that last year for 9 Center. And that sort of helps people with the words, right? Because we know that some people are words people, some people are graphics people. So we'll have that. And then I also think, what was the other thing? The FAQs, the standard exhibit. Oh, I think Ryan can easily sort of make a runway exhibit for you with the red and green arrows for departures and arrivals in terms of what to expect. Daytime is very clear to us. Nighttime, less clear. That's one of the reasons why we're working so hard on Flight Quiet Committee. But Karen, yes, we can have materials ready when you're needed.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions?
Maura, was there anything else that I was supposed to cover in my report today?
No, I think that's what we talked about. I think that's good.
Okay, Chairman, that completes my report unless you have questions for me.
I do not. All right, thank you, Aaron. Committee reports. First, let's hear Fly Quiet.
Yeah, so we met last Thursday. We're making really good progress on alternate H. We got through all but one of the departure headings, and so we'll tackle that. We've added a November meeting so we can keep up with the good progress that we're making. It sounds like we are going to be getting some feedback from some of our members on the departure headings, and then hopefully we'll move through the rest of alternative H, and then at that point we will review both of the alternatives based on the changes that the committee has voted on to take a more comprehensive view, and then we will still also need to tackle some of the all-encompassing items that impact whatever Fly Quiet plan we advance, regardless of which alternative it is. So things like construction impacts. I know there was a request at one point about kind of the 3,000 feet before aircraft make a turn and evaluating that. So we still have a little bit of work ahead of us, but we're definitely moving forward and making good progress. Just so everyone knows, I will not be at the commission meeting on Friday. And so I'm going to be asking, so Alderman Dunn from Elmhurst was voted as vice chair of Fly Quiet. So I'll be asking him to give the report at the meeting on Friday.
Thank you, Karen. Are there any questions?
Yes, Brian's got a question. On the vote for the vice chair, can you explain to me why it was taken the way it was?
So we had received a request to do what would have been the equivalent of like a paper ballot. And so we found a way to accommodate that via Zoom. And so that was the approach that we decided to take.
Is that permissible under the Open Meetings Act? I just want to make sure on that.
Yeah, we didn't find anything that precluded us from holding it. We have the results. So
Well,
Maura
I'm not
was
questioning the results. I'm not questioning it. I was just how it was taken. That's all.
Yeah, we
Okay.
found some precedent that was a format kind of during the pandemic that everyone had pivoted to. And so, you know, we talked about it, and that was kind of the decision going forward.
Okay, thank you.
If there are any questions, Evan, you're on technical committee.
Thank you. I just want to compliment Karen on doing a great job over at Fly Quiet. We're really, I think we finally hit a stride and with these headings. So good job on that. For a technical committee, we went through our normal rigmarole of reports and updates. The big thing was the Fly Quiet Awards. We're moving forward with that. I think we've got some key quantifiable parameters that we're able to look at, and we've handed it off to L&B to start putting that together as a program. The big question is going to be how we weight these different issues. You know, a ground run up and closure is great, but it's probably less important than flight deviations. So L&B is going to take a stab at that, and hopefully we can get that put in place. I think the goal would be to get this in place and adopted and back tested in early next year.
Well, that sounds great. Evan, you're doing stuff too. That's good.
Trying to. We're living in the shadow of Fly Quiet, but we're older and longer in the tooth.
And you know, Fly Quiet will come and go. You'll still be around. anything about Ernie's subcommittee?
Oh, I have agreed to take that under the technical committee. So Ernie's subcommittee will be overseen by the technical committee, which would be nice. Ernie, I believe you're on. Have you made any progress on that?
We're in the process of, Evan, thank you. We're in the process of giving consideration to other committee members. Since we're into the holiday season here, my guess is the subcommittee will try to hold its first session after the first of the year. I've given some thought as to content, breaking it down into three areas, I think. One, physicality. The meaning of that is there anything we can do from the physical standpoint to change, modify, keep it the same as it is, call it what it is in terms of departure and arrival paths, overflights of the area. The second would be policy. I think this is a key area where we can perhaps have ONCC have some impact on the policy area. And then the third area would be just some of the technical aspects that are involved in aviation noise.
Okay, thank you. All right, that sounds like that's moving too. If we could go to B now, Ad Hoc Budget Committee.
Hi, do you have the budget you can put up there, Mara? Okay, great. Do you just want to go through that quickly and explain it?
Yeah. So the bottom line, of course, remains the same. We just rearranged some things within the budget, mostly consolidating some expenses and breaking out some that weren't previously kind of highlighted. So the salaries includes 1.5 FTE, so it's a full-time director and then a part-time assistant. The benefits line item is only provided for the director position. We didn't really have changes to any of those other items there. We broke out email communications service, which is constant contact, the document management service, which is board docs, which is where we post our agendas and minutes and other meeting documents. The post office box printing, website, and let's see, regarding the storage facility, we do currently have a storage facility in Des Plaines, and we're looking into other options for that and would like to reduce that expense. So we'll keep you posted on that, but we're kind of hoping to transition out of that space and find some other options for that. We included the Quickbooks subscription there that wasn't previously there. A lot of the changes came under the meeting expenses. So in previous budgets, that was all kind of broken out, and we had the venue rental and refreshment. We scaled back somewhat on the refreshment line item. There was a lot of Dunkin' Donuts there, so we cut that back quite a bit in order to provide sufficient funding for a 25th anniversary celebration that would take place in 2022. Kind of waiting to see, obviously, what happens with COVID and what will be acceptable in terms of a celebration, but hoping we can get something in 2022 for that. And then we've got the conferences and then the Zoom expense. So we're all in at 256,000, which is our amount that were provided by the city.
Any questions on that?
Can I just ask a logistical question? And I was on the budget committee years ago. I should probably know this. Is the level of detail that we're providing then set in stone, or do we have flexibility within, like, let's say the communications subtotal that we max out at 57,600, but let's say we needed a little bit extra for, let's say QuickBooks increases their rates, we have flexibility between those line items?
Yes, we have flexibility actually among any line items in the budget. As long as we come in under that 256, we can move anything around as needed.
Okay, great, thank you.
Evan,
Any other questions?
Evan has a question.
I know all of us that are leading organizations are probably seeing this, but the cost of employing someone, the salaries just seem to be going up incredibly fast. Are we comfortable with the salary subtotal here for 1.5 full-time equivalents?
I think so.
Does that presume a January 1st start? Like if we were, like, is that the full budget for the full year? Like
Yes.
assuming that, okay. I do, like to Evan's point, I do think we might need to be prepared that people's asks are gonna be higher than that. I'm okay with leaving it for now, but that's been our experience too, that employees or potential employees' asks on salary have been trending high. It's certainly their market these days, so.
Yeah, Karen, the historically, this was 75,000 for an executive director and 40,000 for a part-time admin assistant.
We don't have a part-timer anymore. We just got somebody on contract who's what I've seen so far will go well below the $40,000. And so there's wiggle room there.
I think the budget committee, we talked about this too, and because we have not had part-time help at least a couple of years now, we felt comfortable to be enough there to probably continue the way it is. And then if we needed to make an adjustment with part-time, we'd have to do it then. But right now, I think we're not seeing that we would be jumping right away to hire another half-time employee when we don't have the full-time yet. So.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I just wanted to thank Mara and Aaron, who spent a lot of time digging into some old records to try and give us a really good idea, because really before we could do the budget, we needed to know what we'd been spending. And it was a little sketchy, and they took a lot of time and put this together. And I thank the budget committee too. Probably spent more time on this year than the previous 3 years combined. So my personal thanks to the committee and to Mara and Aaron for their work on this. And I don't think we take a vote, but it would be when we bring this before the full board Friday. We're hoping to move it through, and legally we need to approve the budget by then. So that's my comments.
All right, thank you. If we can move on now, report from the chair. That's me. Let's talk about the interim executive director contract. I have a couple of comments I'd like to make about it. The first one is, Aaron, you had made revisions to it alluding to the Chicago financial policy.
Yes, Chairman, that's correct.
I don't think, I mean, let me ask you this first. Can you send me a copy of the financial policy so I can give it to the executive board?
Sure, to be clear, Chairman, it's the travel policy and the mileage reimbursement. So all city staff and all contractors and the ONCC are subject to the same travel reimbursement requirements. I'm happy to send that. I'll send that right now while we're talking.
Okay, and the other thing is that I don't think this is just my opinion, and the executive board can discuss it if they like. I don't think it's a good idea to simply let the CDA policy dictate financial policy. I think we need to adopt your policy if we feel it's appropriate and incorporate it into who we are. So it's our policy and not yours.
That's fine, Chairman. I'm happy to help however you need. Our policies have been in place for over a decade, and so we've been auditing the ONCC invoices accordingly. So we're happy to share those with you and let you take a look and answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, and it's Ray, do we even have a financial policy?
I'm not aware that you do.
Yeah. I know it's a small organization, but it's probably a very good idea.
But I can go right back to the very beginning that we followed those guidelines to keep it, the same, and because they're reasonable guidelines anyway. So
Well, that's fine. The problem is that in our records, there is
I
no,
understand, right,
and so there was
And it-
nothing for
yeah.
any of us to look at
right.
5 months
Yeah,
ago.
I think that's a good point, Joe, and makes sense.
Okay,
I think under policy, we should keep our independence, and I agree 100% with that, Joe.
thank you. The other thing is meeting with the FAA. Mara, how are we doing with that?
I need your availability.
Aha. Well, I'm not very available this week, but I'm wide open next week. How's that?
I think that's probably good. Yeah, send that over and we'll get that scheduled.
Okay, the other thing I'd mentioned to you earlier in the week about having a meeting with cargo carriers.
Yeah. I'll talk to Aaron if he can help me out with some context for that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Chairman, I will let you know, there's actually a meeting of CACMA, the Chicago Area Cargo Managers Association, next week on the 10th. I got an email this morning. Over the years, folks such as Brian and or Jeanette and Kathy would attend from time to time if there's anything you wanted to talk about. So I'll send the notice to Maura, and if that is helpful, great. And if not, and you just want to meet with other cargo carriers offline, that's okay too.
Okay, send us what you have and we'll get back to you, okay?
Okay.
The only other thing I have to ask, and it's not on the agenda, but I don't think it'll screw up the Open Meetings Act, is that a few months ago you had mentioned LAX was interested in meeting with us, Aaron. Is there anything happening with that?
Oh, yeah. I have no concerns. Ryan Anderson, can you remind me, please, to connect Chairman Annunzia with the LAX folks?
Yes. I'd be happy to.
I'm just curious to see what they have to say, that's all.
I think they want to ask you some questions about your experience with us.
You better send Karen for that.
I think they're sort of canvassing their peers across the industry, and because the ONCC is, at the highest level of noise community roundtable, right? They want to talk to you based on your 25 years of successes.
Okay. All right, that's fine. But get me in contact and let's do that. I just don't want to ignore somebody who's interested in talking to us. That's all, for whatever reason.
Right. I don't think they want to preach at you. I think they want to ask you, how is it that you're so successful?
Okay, I'll think about that now so that when I talk to them, I'll have an answer. All right, that's all I have. Report from the interim executive director.
Thanks, Joe. Just wanted to let everyone know that the commission received a FOIA request regarding Alderman Gardner's attendance, the 45th ward, is that right? I believe?
Yes.
So we received and responded to that, which will lead me into a later item. We did a membership mailing that went out to all ONCC members, and we've been getting a really strong response. So that will help in updating our records and contact information for all the members. So I'm really excited about that. And if you haven't gotten yours in, please, it went directly to the executive or superintendent of the members. So just a reminder on that. The 2022 meeting schedule will be on the agenda for this week's meeting. So I also emailed that out. I think we should be fairly good. Aaron, I think we reviewed this, right?
Yeah, I need to study it with you and Ryan. Let's
Yeah.
plan to do that today or tomorrow so that if we
Great.
need to do any edits,
changes.
you can circulate a revised draft.
Sounds good. And then finally, like I said, the FOIA kind of led into the attendance policy, which we changed with our last, gosh, was it IGA and bylaws? And now I don't recall if it was IGA or bylaws or both.
It was one of the two.
One of the two. Okay, good.
I'm,
thanks.
I'm pretty sure that you put it in your bylaws,
Okay,
right? Because let me look while we're talking,
sure, sorry.
because I feel like maybe that's not in the IGA. Let me just double check real quick.
All right, sorry, I should have had that prepared.
Bylaws, meetings.
It was a big discussion. It was a big part of the changes that the intergovernmental committee went through in the last round. So
Oh,
anyway,
you know what? That makes me think it is in the IGA.
I think it might be.
All right, let me pull that up and
Sure.
verify for you which section.
Okay. Anyway, it has not been executed to date. So I just want
Oh
to.
yeah, Maura,
Yeah.
this is, you did ask for this to be in the IGA. This is section 6, sorry, article. Yeah, section 6 of the IGA is your attendance policy. And so we just want to remind you of that request that the ONCC made to the city and support you as needed.
Okay, thanks. So I will be updating the records as far as that goes. And yeah, I mean, we'll need to be following up on that with the members. As part of that, there's also an ethics policy.
Yes, that is.
An ethics disclosure statement that all members are required to provide, correct, Aaron?
Yes, let me pull that up in your bylaws. So the ONCC memorialized that in bylaws section 4. And these are, there were some tweaks a year ago for the bylaws updates, but this was the round before that. So I would expect this was added in probably 2019.
I don't know that that was ever enforced.
Yeah, there's a
either.
clause in there that talks about an annual acknowledgement.
Okay,
So we just wanted to flag that because the time for doing that is between January 1st and the date of the annual meeting. So it's coming up and it's a good reminder for all of you. So IGA section 6, bylaw section 4.
thank you.
Is that the state report you're talking about?
I'm sorry, say that again, Chairman.
Is that the state report?
No.
It's a different report?
The ONCC wanted each of the members to do an annual ethics acknowledgement. So you wrote that into your bylaws in bylaws section 4. So that's just a statement that goes to the executive director.
Okay.
So we'll get that ready to work on that at the early next year. Just bringing that to your attention. The attendance policy might be something we'll need to talk about at the next meeting. I think I'd like to discuss. We don't have a next meeting, do we? Well, for future discussion, I think I'll start, putting the list together and see where we are.
I mean, so we worked hard on the attendance, and I think the concern was that, we always, as things calm down and we don't have hot topics, we tend to see attendance wane. And I think that the potential that Zoom will be going away, we could have a hard time re-engaging members as well. So, you know, maybe what we do is more when you put those records together, anyone who's already over that threshold or maybe on the bubble, we give them kind of that, like a warning letter, like a reminder that this is a new addition to the IGA that they all executed and that they're at risk of losing their membership for, I think it was a 12-month period. And then, because I'd hate to just start eliminating members without giving them the heads up, but
Yeah.
I do think the transition to in-person meetings, we're going to see a dip in participation for sure.
Well, I hope not. First, I hope we have regular meetings again, and then secondly, I hope nobody drops out. Anything else?
I don't have anything else though. Thank you.
Okay,
Real quick, Mr. Chair.
yeah,
I know that I don't know Chicago politics, but I do read news articles. Typically, when we get a FOIA request about an elected official, we give that elected official a heads up. I don't want to make that determination, but Aaron, I know that CDA employs some intergovernmental people. Can you just make sure that you run that by them?
I can if you'd like. Maura got some assistance from the CDA attorneys just to help her with her first FOIA request. And she did really well. So I will check in with Maura and follow up on that for you.
Okay, again, I'm not making that determination. I don't want to get involved in Chicago politics. I just don't want to miss the opportunity to try to stave off some.
we don't want to get involved in Chicago politics.
Exactly.
Understood.
All right. Let's take a look at the ONCC meeting agenda for November 5th. Any questions? Looks pretty straightforward to me.
Chairman, in section 5, Ryan will be doing Airport 101 Part 2. Then we'll do a regular ANMS report, and then we'll remind everyone that 9 Right is reopening on Thursday, December 2nd. Primarily, it will be used for departures because the navigation lays for arrivals will not be done until next summer. We've talked about that a month or two ago when Frank did his construction update for you. But we just want to remind everybody one more time. And as I mentioned, we will produce some outreach materials for all of the members.
All right, thank you, Aaron.
And then if you could just put Bob Dunn down as doing the Fly Quiet Committee report.
Yes, we'll do.
All right. We've come to the favorite part of this get together, comments from the audience.
Dan Dwyer has a comment.
Thank you, Joe. Just a few comments on Fly Quiet. And some of this was mentioned. I'd just like to expand on it. Sort of the fear that arbitrary decisions are being made on departure noise impacts, prior to any analysis. And our understanding is the graphics from Landman Brown were meant to be illustrative and not determine noise impacts. Another issue is I don't think we should use the term compatible land use so freely, perhaps using more or less populated, giving everyone consideration that no residential area should be considered compatible. Another thing on sort of a shift in criteria towards population impact. And this is sort of where the process started with alternative A, where it was determined not to be equitable to concentrate noise. And now we seem to be revisiting some of these principles. So I think the direction needs to be clear if we're going to treat everyone equitably in line with the current criteria or switch to another metric. Then the last item is, I think Landman Brown should be the objective source for any analysis the committee considers. And if outside analysis is going to be accepted or distributed, it should be vetted, preferably by the FAA, but also allow a period for review and response by members. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Any other comments? All right, I guess I'll see everybody on November 5th at 8 o'clock. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll move so.
Second by Norwich.
Call the roll?
City of Chicago,
Yes.
Village of Niles,
Yes.
Village of Schaumburg,
Yes.
Village of Bensonville,
Yes.
Village of River Grove,
Yes.
Village of Norwich,
Yes.
District 86.
Yes, and Mara, would you call me after the meeting, please?
Yes, will do. Oh,
Right.
sorry, Dr. Kelsall, I didn't see. you.
Yes, sorry, I got on late. I'm here.
No problem. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
One more thing is, when everybody leaves, could Maura and Aaron stay on for just 1 second for me?
Sure.
Yes, Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for attending. We'll see you on Friday.
Friday.
Thank you.
Take care,
Thank you.
Joe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Hey, Maura, can you turn off the recording?
Yeah.
Is it off?
No. I am the host.
Hey, Tracy Payne, are you planning to stay or are you good to go?
Hang on, I might have to exit and come back. Let me do that.
Uh-oh.
It's the same meeting, so we're still recording. Maybe we all just need to dial back in.
Yes. How should we do that?
I think we have to exit and then just click on the link again.
Okay. All right, that's what I'll do. I'll tell you, okay. I'll talk to you when I see you again.
Okay.